certainly will miss his presence in the clubhouse as well.
And Wainwright goes back to the hill for the Redbirds today.
How good has he been at home? 10-0. Wainwright, an all-star. The nasty breaking ball. The Pirates, not much of a lineup. He should breeze through them here this afternoon at Busch.
And when we come back, Frank Cusimano visits with the new starting pitcher.
Baseball fans, make your next game day part of a great getaway in historic St. Charles, Missouri. Just a short drive west of Busch Stadium, St. Charles offers the safety and value of a smaller city, but with nightlife and attractions that really measure up. She'll love the specialty shops and restaurants along Main Street. You'll enjoy Bass Pro or a handcrafted beer at Trailhead Brewing Company. To plan your game day getaway, visit historicstcharles.com. Shop, dine, stay, play. Discover St. Charles, Missouri.
Did you know that the Kia Sorento comes standard with a 6-speed automatic transmission and gets 29 miles per gallon highway? Did you know it comes with advanced technology? And do you know which competitor offers all of this, plus third-row seating? The CR-V or the Edge? Answer is neither.
With the new Cardinal, Jake Westbrook. Congratulations, and as soon as you hear the news yesterday, what were your emotions like?
Yesterday was a little hectic. I'm definitely excited to just kind of start a new chapter in my career, and especially to do it here in this organization. The Cardinals organization has always been a great baseball organization and a great baseball city, great baseball town, a great. I've heard nothing but good things about the guys who have played here, the guys that have, even the opposition here, the guys when they come here, they say they have nothing but good things to say about this place. So, I'm excited and looking forward to the opportunity to pitch here, and hopefully there'll be some good things to come.
How close are you to the pitcher who won 44 games over a 3-year span?
I'm definitely, my arm feels amazing. My arm feels probably better than it did even then. So I'm excited about the way I feel. I feel like I got a few more things to work on to be a little more consistent, but I feel strong about the progress that I've made since Tommy John, and excited about moving forward.
What about going into a clubhouse where you basically know nobody? I mean, the only guy you were a teammate of was Ryan Ludwig,
right,
who's now gone. That must be kind of a strange experience after all those years in Cleveland.
Yeah, it is. It is strange, but I think, bottom line is it's still baseball. Everybody's out there competing for one common goal, and that's to win ball games. And I think it's not going to take me long to kind of mesh with my teammates, and looking forward to getting to know everybody. It's going to take me a little while with all the new names and new faces and things like that, but that's something I'm looking forward to the opportunity to do.
And your style seems to be tailor-made for our pitching coach here, Dave Duncan, sinker slider. Have you talked with Coach Duncan a lot?
I have, and I'm excited to work with him. I'm excited to see what he has for me to as a baseball player, always looking to get better, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And I think, a pitching coach like that is, somebody that I can definitely benefit from.
I got to be honest. How about the little kids at home? Are they a little sad?
Yeah, they are a little bit, but they're a little young. They don't know really what's going on quite yet. I have two little boys that are 4 and 2, Parker and Keaton, and got a little girl on the way due in September. So I think it's an exciting time for them. They're happy for me. They're excited for me, and I'm looking forward to being here.
Well, you can bring Parker and Keaton to the practice field. All the other players do. They can get a good workout here at Busch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. They'll have a lot of fun with that.
Thanks for the visit. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll take a short break. Cardinal Baseball continues on News Channel 5 right after this. All right. Welcome back to Cardinal Baseball. Yes, sir. Working on a television feature on Tyler Greene. However, about 45 minutes ago, Jake Westbrook was activated and Tyler Greene was put on the disabled list. Nonetheless, Greene is a future shortstop in this organization.
All over the place tonight, throughout the country and overseas to our troops. Greene incidentally deep left.
He's a first-round draft choice who has more tools than Home Depot. Tyler Greene is big, strong, and fast. And he knows if he ever got 600 at-bats at this level, he could deliver numbers.
15, 20 homers. I know this level's a little different, but the more experience you get, the quicker you learn at this level. I'm the type of guy that has pop and also has speed.
However, the question is, when does Greene get his shot at short? The manager likes him, but
he really benefited from going down. He played well at AAA. He's a guy who just needs experience. Wherever he gets it, it's good for him. He's got plus ability. I mean, everything about him is a plus. So, I don't know, sitting here right now is all that good for him. He needs to play, but he's very close.
Greene would bring the shortstop position something rarely seen in St. Louis. How?
Greene.
He's 6'2" and 190 pounds. Punch and Judy? No. How about pop and extra base potential? For now, Greene just wants to avoid getting bad news about going to Memphis again. He's familiar with I-55. he's made the trip quite a bit over the last 2 years.
You have ideas on some sort of situations where you know you're probably the one going down with guys coming on and off the PO. So you know you never know, but if you do, I mean, yeah,
Stay out of the
you try. Hopefully they don't miss you or not find you, but you know, eventually, if that's the decision, then they'll find you.
Look at this.
All Tyler Greene can do now is hit line drives and hustle like there's no tomorrow.
They're going and safe.
And when you rent a place up here, it's not long term. How do you do that?
I mean, it's tough, you know. You always want to have the mentality when you're getting called up that you're going to stay. And I think if you keep that mentality, then you know you have the odds are in your favor of staying. So as long as you stay strong with that and just keep on working to stay here, you know, eventually that'll happen.
Your Mid-America Chevy dealers know what you want in a truck, St. Louis. You want the best fuel economy of any full-size pickup. Better highway fuel economy than F-150. You want a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. You want the best coverage.
Window World told you about a tax credit that can save you up to $1,500.
And the Redbirds being introduced and taking their positions on the field with some youngsters. And first of all, we'll have the playing of God Bless America and then our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Please remain standing and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. It's performed today by the Fleming Academy of Performing Arts. They're under the direction of Trudy Fleming.
Cardinals baseball on News Channel 5 is brought to you by Budweiser with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. That's what we do. By Commerce Bank. You want more in a banking relationship? Call, click, or come by. Commerce Bank, member FDIC. And by Sunset Ford. Click and pick today. Drive it home tomorrow. Visit sunset-ford.com. Well, it's a nice day for the pool. August is upon us. And these next 2 months, Rick, are going to be very interesting.
Well, there's a lot of hope in Cardinal Nation for what's going to happen the next couple of months. And a lot of that hope is on the shoulders of our starter here this afternoon, Adam Wainwright, who has been spectacular here at home. And it's a big crowd here today, Jay, and a lot of hope for this game in particular as we take a look at the Pittsburgh Pirate starting lineup. Not a lot of names you're familiar with. McCutchen, the best of the bunch, hitting in the leadoff spot, and a little pop out of Garrett Jones in the fourth spot.
Adam Wainwright on the hill. His 23rd start of the season. 14-6. And the best home record in the major leagues. 10-0 with a 1.22 ERA. Here's the way the Cardinals stack up in the field this afternoon.
And the defense has been better of late. Holiday, Rasmus, and Jay. Rasmus and Jay going to get a lot of innings now that Ryan Ludwig isn't in the fold. Lopez, Ryan, Miles, and Pujols on the infield. And Molina behind the plate today. A couple of all-stars for our battery, Wainwright and Pujols.
And we're set for our Toyota first pitch of the game, as Wainwright will come into Andrew McCutchen, batting .292. A strike on the outside corner. McCutchen has gone 5 for 12 in his last 3 games. Wainwright out in front, 0-2. McCutchen, a Floridian, out of Fort Meade High in Florida. The plate umpire this afternoon is Andy Fisher. 85 degrees at game time, but the humidity seems to be down. It's really rather pleasant here at the park.
Very comfortable.
And up the middle it goes for a leadoff single.
Pretty good location on this fastball. A couple of options for Wainwright. Does he go back to the curveball or does he go fastball in? Wainwright tries to get that inside corner. Not a bad location. McCutchen just looking for it. And he runs very well, Jay. 21 out of 28 stolen bases, so be careful here. Although, if I'm a Pirate, I would be careful about running on Mr. Molina.
Most people are. Here's Jose Tabata. Tabata batting .294. He's hitting at a .391 clip with 2 doubles and a home run and 6 RBIs during the 11-game hit streak that he's got going. Yadier Molina has already picked 1 Pirate off the bases in this series. Swing and a miss. Tabata is just 22 years old. He is from Venezuela. Traded from the Yankees in July of 2008. He was originally signed by the Yankees when he was just 16 years old. Well, they knew about him early.
Pretty big lead for McCutchen. An interesting lead too. He brings his knees together. Almost looks a little uncomfortable in the way he takes his lead. But McCutchen's the real deal. The Pirates are very happy to have him. The problem with this organization is once a guy gets to be a good player, then somebody else wants him, and they trade him for 2 other young guys, and they got to start over again.
Fouled away. With that single to start the game, McCutchen now is hitting over .500 against Wainwright in his career.
There's the steal percentage, 75%. Molina over 40% in throwing runners out.
And McCutchen now with a 9-game hitting streak. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Into left field. 2 singles to begin the game for the Pirates.
Well, this wasn't the plan. Curveball got a little bit too much of the plate. About belt high. And Tabata drives it in the hole between third and short. Now the Cardinals are going to have to play some defense. Neil Walker batting over 300 for the Pirates. He's been a good surprise.
And he is a Pittsburgh native, the son of a former big league pitcher, Thomas Walker. First round draft pick of the Pirates in 04. And he squared around the bunt. Ball 1. Two on and nobody out, and Walker with an opportunity for the Pirates. The nice bunt out in front. He's out. Ball hit him right there.
And both Molina and Wainwright were right on top of that call. Walker's not sure they got it right, but Molina, the first one to say that that ball struck Walker or his bat in fair territory. And I like it when the third guy in the order is bunting.
Yes.
But here's the bunt. It gets in the fair territory, and can't tell from that angle whether it hit his arm. We may see it here. Bounces up, hits him in the hand, and Molina and Wainwright both pointing to the fact that he was standing in fair territory, which makes him out.
You might say thanks for bunting, huh? Here's Garrett Jones. Jones, a switch hitter, batting .275. Excuse me, he's a left-handed hitter. Batting .275. Has gone 6 for 15 with 2 doubles and 2 home runs and 4 RBIs in the last 4 games. Low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off-speed pitch, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That was not a straight sacrifice. Walker trying to actually bunt for a hit and at the very least move the runners over, but still indicative of the Pirates lineup that your third hitter, your best hitter on your team, you're asking to bunt in the first inning. It shows that they know that getting runs off of Wainwright might be a difficult thing to do.
That misses inside. Count evens at 2. The Pirates in their 123rd season of playing baseball. And the strikeout.
I'm going to go out on a limb, Jay, and say that if the Cardinals get the first 2 base runners on in the bottom of the first, Albert will not be bunting.
My partner with a slight criticism of the strategy of the Pirates.
Well, I'm not sure it's the criticism of the strategy as much as it is just the reality of what that lineup is all about.
Here's Pedro Alvarez. He hit 7 home runs last month. Tied for the most among all rookies in the majors with Buster Posey and Mike Stanton. But he is hitless in his last 12 at-bats. That catches the corner. High hard one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. McCutchen led off with a single, followed by Tabata's single. Walker out trying to bunt, and Jones striking out. Ooh, I think Molina thought that was a strike. 2-2. Like he made a quick grab at it. That ball dipped at the end. Might have hit in front of the plate. In fact, I couldn't see here because we are blocked as far as the plate goes by the plate umpire, Andy Fisher. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2. And a full count.
Molina's presence already being felt in the first inning. Number one, he makes that call quickly, which perhaps the umpire would have seen without him. But secondly, the Pirates feel that they need to bunt to move 2 speedsters along. You've got a bad catcher. They're going to let McCutchen run, and they're going to let Tabata run. But they know that the chances aren't good of being successful against Molina.
Runners go. Alvarez strikes out. And Wainwright is out of an early jam. After a half inning at Busch Stadium. No score. Sunday afternoon.
Molina getting the start in the 5th hole here this afternoon behind Matt Holliday. That's an interesting change, but against the left-hander Duke, Tony La Russa didn't want Rasmus in that role. And Duke, the left-hander for the Pirates, has had a very good month of July. Did not start off very well this season. The numbers indicate that, but he was 2-1 in the month of July. The earned run average just above 3, so he's pitching better of late, and there's the defense behind it.
And Duke has won his last 2 starts. Here's Felipe Lopez. Strike on the outside corner. Lopez, a 188 hitter lifetime against Zach Duke. One ball and 2 strikes. Popped up out into short left. And it's going to be Tabata who comes in with the glasses down to make the play. Here's John Jay batting .383. Jay, who went 0 for 4 last night. That's the longest string for him this season without a hit.
He still seems awful confident, doesn't he? For
yes,
a young
he does.
Hitter.
Extremely mature and confident. Rick, you just like the way he stands in there, don't you? I mean, he really looks like he's got it figured out. Let's hope so. He's going to have a chance to play a lot of baseball in the next 2 months.
A lot of good at-bats for him. He doesn't really give away at-bats. And confidence is a big part of this. You want to act like you belong without being arrogant. We talked about Jaime Garcia having that quality. And I think John Jay has that quality.
He bats in front of Albert Pujols. Two and two. Missed outside, full count. Second baseman Walker throws on, 2 away. Here's Albert, who went 3 for 5 last evening with his 24th home run. And he passed Johnny Bench on the list to go to 51 all time, 390.
Tied with Greg Nettles and Jim Edmonds. It'll be interesting to see how Zach Duke pitches Albert. A lot of pitchers have been going up and in. That's not really the strength of Duke. He's a down and away guy. Albert's home run was the other way. Now they're going to go in on him.
And they jam him, and he pops it up, and it's back out of play.
Albert's shown some vulnerability on the inside pitch, which is almost hard to get out of my mouth, Jay, because you think about what he's done in his career with the fastball up, the fastball in, but he's been a little bit late on some of those. And so pitchers are just pounding him there. Now away.
The Cardinals are 36-16 here at home. That is the best home record in the National League and tied for the best in the major leagues. Texas is also 136. (24-18) is their record in the Central Division, and 20-17 playing day baseball. Fouled away, and ooh, that hurt.
Albert doesn't do that very often. You don't see him foul the ball off his foot very often. Right off the top of his left foot.
Steps back in with a count of 2-2. Nothing shaking here in the first for the Cardinals.
You mentioned
full count.
You mentioned the Cardinals' home record, the Pirates' road record. Well, those numbers are just as good as far as Cardinals are concerned. They're 13-41 on the road, worst record in baseball.
13-41. Here's one foul. That foot still hurting.
Well, he's had some leg issues the last week anyway, and Albert, of course, will play through injuries and pain, but he is definitely not comfortable.
This is handled out there by Cedeno, and the Cardinals go quietly in the first. After one at Busch, no score. The Cardinal logo on your debit card, credit card, and checks. Plus, get extra base rewards with every credit purchase. Learn more at banking centers or at Bank of America/Cardinals. The ball is to the wall and on his horse. Blasting Millage into third. It's a triple for Millage.
John Jay with a great effort to try to come up with this, and I don't think he could have done anything different to keep Millage from being on third base, because he plugs the gap. And Jay has shown that he's not afraid to try to go get the ball. Millage with some power the other way, and he's got the speed to go along with it.
Ronnie Cedeno stands in, batting .246. He's a .308 hitter lifetime against Wainwright. And he's bunting, and it's foul.
Well, the reason he's bunting is because Albert Pujols fouled the ball off his foot last inning, and he's vulnerable right now. Albert's playing in close, but they know he's not moving very well. He just limped out to first base, and I don't blame the Pirates for doing it. They missed an opportunity in the first. They can't afford to miss another one.
He looked like he wanted to bunt. Let's get out to Frank Cusimano with the GM.
Jay, thanks very much. It's a pleasure to get together with the general manager, John Mozeliak. And a little bit of news today as you activate Jake Westbrook. Tyler Greene goes on the DL. Tell me about that.
Well, he's been being bothered by that wrist injury, and it was something that we had originally thought we might option him, but he came in complaining today and just thought it made the most sense to just DL him. Let him get treatment here at the big league level, and then hopefully it's a short stint, 15 days.
We see the paper, and we see the headline, Ludwig traded. But what about from your perspective? Do you go down and tell him that in person, or is it the manager? And how difficult is that for somebody like Ludwig who you really liked?
Well, first I called him to let him know what was happening, and then when he did get to the ballpark yesterday to pack up, I met with him and had a face-to-face. He's someone that I always got along with, I always admired, and he'll be missed. But we had to do what we thought was best for the organization, and we really thought we had to address our starting pitching, and we were able to accomplish that.
What makes you think that Jake Westbrook can get back to that form where he won 44 games in 3 years with the Indians?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Getting out of the American League into the National League, I think being a sinker slider pitcher working with Dave Duncan is a good combination. And so I really just think he's excited, he's energized to play on a team that's in a pennant race, and I know getting that type of enthusiasm is going to be a big lift for us.
We know the trade deadline is officially over, but trades can still be made. Can you explain that to our viewers?
Well, starting today, what you need are waivers. You have to put a player on waivers. Once the player clears and nobody claims him, then the player can be traded.
And how likely is something like that happening for the Cardinals here down the stretch?
Well, we'll pay attention to it. Obviously, people in the office will look at that every day, and if we think there's a fit, we'll pursue it. But a lot of times what happens in August, once a player is on waivers, you put a claim in, then the team may call you before they withdraw the claim and see if they can put a deal together or not. So we'll be active.
John, we appreciate the visit. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Frank.
That's Cardinal manager John Mozeliak. Jay and Rick, back to you.
All right, thank you, Frank. Cedeno singling to right, picking up his 22nd RBI as Millage comes home after his triple. Here's Jason Jaramillo. Right back it goes to Wainwright. And the double play. Jaramillo batting only .143 coming into today's game, the switch hitter. Follow the Cardinals every Sunday morning at 10 with the Sunset Ford Cardinal Nation Show. 30 minutes of in-depth stories, interviews, and features about your hometown team. The Sunset Ford Cardinal Nation Show right here on your home for Cardinal Baseball, News Channel 5. Zach Duke, his batting average at .103. Duke is from Texas. You might remember he was an All-Star last season, a late replacement for Matt Cain. He did not pitch in the All-Star game. 42 and 64 lifetime in his career. 5 and 9 this season. On the ground to Miles. And that's going to do it, but the Pirates break through for a run here in the second. Back with more in a moment. His two favorite destinations for one great price with the Cardinals Six Flags double play combo. For just $50, you get a ticket to a 2010 Cardinal game and a one-day pass to Six Flags St. Louis. Get your double play combo today at Cardinals.com. Holiday, Molina, and Rasmus as we move to the bottom of the second inning. The youngster on hand with his dad today. Indeed.
Baseball's a family game, isn't it?
Oh, boy. It is the greatest game. Holiday is a .529 hitter against Duke in his career. That batting .301. Two balls and no strikes. Holiday has hit in 15 of his last 16. Went 1 for 4 with a double. 2 RBIs last night here. Fly ball deep to right. Back and at the track. It's Millage making the play. Very light wind in the ballpark today that appears to be blowing in a little bit from center field. But
just missed that a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, just got under it a touch.
I do like the fact that he went the other way with it. It's one of the things we talked about in the keys to the game. Our Cardinals hitting the ball the other way.
Saw a lot of that last night.
We did, and Molina picked up a couple of hits the other way. And Duke's going to work that outside corner. That's his pitch right there, low and away. Still the best pitch in the game is a fastball down and away at the knees.
He's batting .474 against Pittsburgh in this 2010 season. And he's .571 is Yachty on this homestand. He's a .345 hitter lifetime against Duke. Rick, both Yadier and Brendan Ryan seem to be battling out of prolonged slumps here in the last week or so.
Getting better, both of them. Been a long process for Brendan Ryan. Yachty has been making progress for some time, and it started with him making contact more, walking more, and then all of a sudden the hits came after. Brendan Ryan, he took the ball up the middle pretty well yesterday as well. We'll see if he can do that again today.
Full count. Into center field. McCutchen is on the run, and he's right at the track. Couple of very well hit balls, but both of them corralled out there by Millage and McCutchen. There's our good friend Pat Paris, who you have the opportunity to work with, Rick, on the postgame shows at Fox Sports Midwest. Wonderful gentleman.
Oh, my goodness.
Does great work.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time together, and I think Pat is, I guess he's seen enough of that inning as he gets up to leave his seat. But Pat is just the consummate professional, Jay. He really is outstanding at what he does, and just great to have him part of the Cardinal team.
Rasmus hitting .091 against Duke in his career. Colby's average up to .271. Hit his first home run in 25 games last night. That caught the corner.
Colby's stance looks a little bit more open. He's changed his stance 2 or 3 times during the season. Not unusual for a player just to make little minor adjustments, but he looks like he's a lot more open. That right front foot, and he closes it.
Foul tipped and held by the catcher, Jaramillo. Duke has gone through the first 6. It's 1-0 Pittsburgh. Bring us about those who are enjoying the game, sir. The first inning, Budweiser. It's what we do. And joining me now, the voice of the Cardinals, Mr. Mike Shannon.
How are you, Jennings?
I'm well, thank you, Michael. Nice job last night at the Whitey Herzog festivities here.
That was a nice and a fun time, wasn't it? All of his players came in. And the folks loved it, didn't they? They packed in here to the tune of 44,000 plus.
And another big crowd here today as McCutchen stands in. He singled and was stranded at second.
Beautiful there. There's the... They also... in honoring Whitey last night, retired his number 24 is forever hanging on the wall here.
As well it should.
He joins 10 other numbers.
2 balls and no strikes to McCutchen. Redbirds down early, 1-0.
Mr. Duke is on today. He's retired the first 6 in order.
Yep. 3-1.
I don't know where that pitch was to him.
Andy Fisher, the plate umpire. Mike Everett at first. Adrian Johnson at second. Tim McClellan at third. Fouled out of play.
When did you get your first souvenir? Did you ever catch one at the game? Before you
Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C.
Right.
Yeah.
First one I ever got the night I signed. I got 2 of them.
Is that right?
I didn't
How
need
about
him.
that?
Didn't need him. Too late.
Too late.
Because I never had that good a seat.
Line drive to Lopez. One away.
I used to belong to the peanut gallery.
Were you a knot holer?
Yeah, sure. That's what I call the peanut gallery.
The peanut gallery, the knot holers.
Knot holders. The Browns and the Cardinals. The Browns used to give them away all the time.
Yeah. Here's Tabata, who singled in the first. If you're joining us late, first 2 men up singled. And then Walker was out trying to bunt, and Jones and Alvarez struck out. And the Cardinals were out of the jam, but a triple to lead off the second by Millich and a single by Cedeno has the Buccos up 1-0.
It's the first time the leadoff man has been retired, and that was a line shot.
Fouled out of play. Tomorrow, Houston comes calling for a 3-day stint. Then the club is off on Thursday. Then 3 in Florida and 3 in Cincinnati. A day off on the 12th. 3 with the Cubs. A day off on the 16th. And Milwaukee comes into play 2. And then there's a day off on the 19th. And 3 with San Francisco. So 4 days off in the next 3 weeks, Mike.
That'll be nice, set up the Cardinals. That's good. The month of August is hot. You need those days off, man. That's good. I like it.
Hot shot. And it's handled nicely by Miles. Join News Channel 5 and make the pledge to hang up and drive. Help end distracted driving by keeping your eyes on the road and off the phone. Take the pledge now at ksdk.com. Everyone who makes the pledge will be entered to win a brand new 4-door SEL Ford Fiesta. Make our roads safer. Hang up and drive.
What do you think Alexander Graham would think about things if he came back?
Oh, my goodness. I think he and Tom Edison both would be rather...
Where are the wires? Where are the wires?
Walker flies out to Rasmus. The Pirates are down 1-2-3. They lead 1-0.
Hopping last night, man.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, there's my Cabernet. Boy, that Cabernet is good.
I have 1 bottle of that left.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Come on down. We got plenty of them.
You're happy to make some available.
Having another party there tonight.
Yes.
Our good friend, General Hagenbeck, who threw out the first pitch here today.
Yeah, it was good to see the General. He's retiring.
Don't miss him.
Yeah. Brendan Ryan, Adam Wainwright, Aaron Miles. And this is a shot that is going to get down. Ryan with a leadoff double.
He's starting to come around, Jay. That's 5
Just said that in the last inning, yeah.
He's 5 hits in his last 8 at-bats now. Nice to see that because we sure need his glove in there at shortstop.
Yeah. I mentioned that both Ryan and Molina have battled through some tough slumps, and you can see good improvement from each.
The other guy is Skip Schumacher that's made him a long way back.
Yeah. Here's Adam Wainwright batting 148.
That's why they play 162, right?
Mm-hmm. These next 2 months are going to be very interesting, Michael.
I guarantee you, I'd be looking for tickets. If I was you, down in the latter part of August and September, there'll be a pennant race on.
Bunt attempt is fouled.
What, you got a Dear John letter there?
No. Some friends of yours and mine. Right. And Joe and Mary Martin in Mountain Home, Arkansas. Want to be...
boy, that's beautiful country.
Yeah, sent greetings from Mike and Kevin and Amanda Martin, who are here at the game. That's foul. Their 49th winning anniversary. The Martins raised 9 Cardinal fans and over 30 grandchildren. And here's a good effort by the catcher here on this play, Mike.
But no cigar. He tried. Those guys, they slide on their knees. It doesn't matter with those pads. It's a tough job, those catchers. But it's an enjoyable one. Yeah. Need to get that man from second over to third. Less than 2 outs.
And a little chopper out to the shortstop.
Did you see the jump? Did you see the jump that he had off a second base?
Yes.
He was better than halfway when the pitch was hit. And watch this. Look at the run here.
Yeah, and watch Wainwright run. He's trying to get a hit.
Why, yeah. Shortstop did a good job of holding his position and throwing him out. Now a chance for Miles to tie this game.
Miles batting 306.
That was some jump that he had.
Miles is a switch hitter, of course, and in lifetime he's a 357 hitter against Duke. Do we see a squeeze here, Mike?
Yeah, it's a possibility, but I don't think so.
How about that? That'll do it. Center field. McCutcheon makes the catch. The sac fly and the RBI, the 4th for Miles. We're tied up at 1.
Here's that play with Wainwright at the plate and the runner going. Many times when you see that runner going, you'll swing no matter what. That's exactly what Wainwright did there. He didn't need to. If he'd have held up, he'd have had him at third with a stolen base without a play.
This is down the line, just foul. Lopez flied to left. Back in the first. Outside. Redbirds as a team batting .263. Come into this game 58-46. A win today would put them 13 over. And they've been at that point only one time back on July 21st when they were 54-41. That's fouled into the upper deck. Cardinal fans, the 4th of the 5 Ice Mountain autograph nights is this Wednesday, August 4th. Cardinals and the Astros will be here, and you'll join us and Meet your favorite Cardinal player and alumni, and for more details, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
That website's full of goodies, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Full count to Felipe. And a walk. The first pass issued by Duke. Sunday's game day on News Channel 5. You want to join us next Sunday, August 8th. The Cardinals will be in Florida taking on the Marlins. The Window World Cardinals game day preview comes your way at 11:30. The Cards and the Marlins next Sunday on your home for Cardinal baseball, News Channel 5.
You'll see a bunch of old friends.
I will indeed. Yeah, and my daughter lives down in Palm Beach with her husband. They'll be attending the game a week from today, in fact.
Yeah. Becky?
Yes, my Becky. A wonderful lady.
Right, she takes after her mother.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to agree with that.
Lovely Sue Brandon. One of our favorite folks. She's enjoying the grandkids, isn't she?
Yeah, she is with our grandson, Jen, out in Colorado, visiting our granddaughter who's in camp at Chile out there, and also, of course, our middle child, Brian, who works at the famous Stanley Hotel out there in Estes Park. So they're having a little weekend reunion out there. And, of course, the Stanley Hotel is reported to be a haunted house.
With all Playboy bunnies, right?
No. Oh, boy.
You have to. That's what he says. You want to start that rumor?
No, I don't think so. It's a magnificent old hotel built by the man who built the Stanley Steamer automobiles.
The hotel went over a lot better. It lasted a lot longer. Let's put it that way. Right?
It sure did. Out in the left, and Tabata is right there. Adam Wainwright. He'll come out. It's a 1-1 game. Is brought to you by Bank of America. Get Cardinals banking only from Bank of America. Get started at a banking center or go to bankofamerica.com/Cardinals. By the Dave Sinclair Automotive Group, a proud sponsor of Cardinals baseball. And by McDonald's. Try a new ice blended caramel or mocha frappe now at McDonald's.
You're a big frappe man.
I love that frappe. Yes, sir. No balls in the strike as Garrett Jones leads off. He struck out back in the first. He'll be followed by Alvarez and Millage. One ball and one strike.
Beautiful day out here, isn't it?
It really is. The humidity is down. Temperatures in the 80s, very pleasant. Off the glove. Good job by Miles. He changed direction and was able to come up with it. Play goes 1, 4, 3. Well, let's see what's on tap. Presented by Budweiser. Tomorrow, coverage of the first game of the 3-game series against the Astros. And it gets underway at 6:30 on Fox Sports Midwest.
And we'll see our newest addition to the Cardinal family.
Yes, sir. Westbrook will get the start.
Make his first start.
Alvarez struck out in the first. I had a nice visit with Westbrook. There he is. And he's a very personable young man and very excited about the opportunity to work with Dave Duncan and see how it goes over here in the National League.
And he went from the proverbial house to the penthouse, right?
That's right.
As far as he's concerned, going from Cleveland to St. Louis.
Cleveland does have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but and they got a big lake there. But,
yeah, but they have to share that lake.
Oh boy, I did some football games there, Mike, back in the 70s and 80s when it was so cold, that wind coming off the lake there at the old stadium.
Couldn't even shiver.
Browns. I mean, you were wondered if you were going to be able to stand up at the end of the game. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alvarez.
We had a game up in Montreal when they first started up there in that old Jerry Park.
Park Jerry.
Yeah, man. You were going somewhere. I did the game by myself. It was outside, you know. You were outside there. And I'm out there with the cameraman, and he's all bundled up in his winter stuff. And he's got a flask over there. You know, why? Hey, man, what do you got there? Warm me up here a little bit.
That was quite a ballpark.
Yeah.
Mark Jury with the swimming pool over the right field fence. Dal Maxfield once hit a home run there. In fact, in the opening game that we ever played there.
Grand slam home run.
Yep.
Wind blowing out about 40 miles an hour. That was something. Whew, it was cold that day, though.
Yes, sir. And the strikeout. That is the 3rd for Wainwright. Well, let's take you to this day in history and see what we've got for you. Vince Coleman breaks the Major League Baseball rookie record with stolen base number 73. He'd swipe 110 by the season's end. We had the Coleman bobblehead here last night. It was good to see Vince.
Yeah, he and his wife, 2 children were in town. He's become a very good golfer and an avid golfer.
Yes, he has.
I have to take the blame for that. First time he ever played golf, I took him out. I'm going to play golf. That's why I said, you created a monster. We're going to take a trip, stop into San Diego, spend a couple of days playing.
Popped up out of the short left, and that's Ryan making the play. And that'll do it. 3.5 innings. 1-1 game here at Busch Stadium. listeners that they can check out the Game Day blog after every telecast. Cutting the Game. Get your copy. www.cuttingthegame. Tom Mee, our director, written a wonderful book about televising baseball that you'll enjoy.
I checked into your blog the other day, by the way.
My blog? Yeah. I don't have a blog.
You do now.
I don't even have an email, thank goodness.
Oh, boy.
No balls and 2 strikes. Pujols grounded out in the first, and that's on that at bat. You remember he was hit on the top of the foot, and it really was a painful shot for him. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's a very durable cat, though, isn't he?
He comes out, doesn't he? 2-2.
We'll have 6 games on this homestand, and there'll be 40,000 for every game. 40 plus.
That's a little low. Full count.
Even with Houston coming in here. 40,000 plus for all those games. So if you want tickets, now's the time. You better get them quick.
Houston without Lance Berkman doesn't seem possible, does it?
He's wearing the Yankee pinstripes now.
That's foul.
Gives them a pretty good switch hitting designated hitter, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Albert has started 102 of 100, or now 103 of 105 games. Only missing starting 2 games. He loves to play. Another payoff pitch. And a little liner out to Walker, 1 away.
Tell you what, a good pitch to him. Albert's such a good hitter, he still made a line drive out of it. They had very good defensive alignment to snare that line drive.
Holiday led off the second with a fly ball to right. It was a ball that he just almost got to go out of here. He got under it just a little bit.
They play Holiday much like they do Albert to pull with the second baseman almost behind the pitching mound.
Two balls and no strikes. Fouled away. Atlanta at Cincinnati. Cincinnati leads 2-1. Atlanta batting in the top of the 7th inning. This is driven to right, and Jones is on the run and makes the play in foul territory. St. Louis Morning News starts very early. It's the first news on News Channel 5. Art Holiday and Jennifer Blome. St. Louis's favorite weekly morning show today in St. Louis. Latest news, traffic, and weather. Weekdays beginning at 4:30 a.m. News Channel 5, where the news comes first. Here's Molina. He flied to center back in the 2nd inning. Low for a ball. It'll be Westbrook against Myers here tomorrow. Then on Tuesday evening, Jaime Garcia goes against Bud Norris. And on Wednesday, Carpenter against J.A. Happ. Molina is out. And Mr. Shannon, thanks for being with us. See you later. It's a 1-1 game. McConnell, Mike Roberts, and Anthony Slaughter. They've won the Weather Rate Seal of Approval 6 straight years as St. Louis's most accurate. The Weather Plus weather team only on News Channel 5. Cedeno, Jaramillo, and Duke new here as we move to the 5th inning in a 1-1 game. Cedeno picked up the RBI with a single in the second after Lasting Millage had led off with a triple. One ball and 2 strikes. Down he goes for the 4th strikeout.
Wainwright's had some balls up in the zone, and this is another one, but that's exactly where Yachty wanted this pitch on Cedeno, and he blows it by the shortstop for his 4th strikeout, as you mentioned. But Wainwright up a little bit, Jay, and I think that's why he gave up a couple of hits early on.
Well, as so often the case, he'll seem to improve as time goes along.
You bet he does.
Unless you get him early.
He works quickly, too. Don't you love that?
You love the way he
gets
works.
the ball back, gets right back on the mound, and says, okay, I'm ready. How about you?
Yeah, let's play baseball. I love it. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I would say if we could get a timing of a game back in, say, 1940s or the 50s, most pitchers would have pitched at this pace.
That's true. I saw a lot of them in those days, and most of those games, even though I was watching American League teams, there was no DH, of course, in those days, but they were played in 2 hours. That's low. 2-2.
And so many Cardinal fans will say, well, you know, I like being at the ballpark. We've talked about this before. And they'll say, well, why do you want them to be fast? Are you just trying to get out of it? I mean, we love being at the ballpark. What a great place to be. Let's stay here for hours. But the point is the game is played better and more crisply when it's played quickly.
And the players behind their pitcher are, I think, always a little more into it with this kind of pace.
No question.
Into right. Good job by Jay to get over and cut that off and keep it a single. That ball was really tagged. Enjoy the Cardinals baseball experience here at the stadium and stay at the Hyatt Regency. The package includes overnight accommodations, $10 food and beverage credit per day at the brew house, tickets to a Cardinals game, plus a personalized Rawlings baseball bat. Visit HyattRegencySt.Louis.com for more information. Here's Duke. He's trying to bunt, and it is foul. Let's take a look at John Jay with his speed, cut this ball off and make a good throw in.
And Jay, you're exactly right. If he does not do this, perhaps we're looking at a double. But Jay takes a great line to the ball. And then how about the throw? He gets rid of it quickly right on the base. He has an accurate arm. I wouldn't call him a plus arm in terms of strength. But when he plays center field, I mean, he throws the ball, or right field, he throws the ball on the base with, I would say, good arm strength. Not great, but I would say good.
Throw over to first. Lopez at third, pulled up on the grass. A little low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Like to send our best wishes to Bill Bernard, lifelong Cardinal fan, 82 years young, just completing 5 weeks of successful treatment for cancer. Bill's son, in fact, used to caddy for me at Glen Echo Country Club. And Bill, we send our very best to you. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Cardinals are very aggressive at trying to keep a sacrifice from being successful. Wainwright's trying to make a pitch that Duke can't handle. Molina's trying to fake throws to first to make sure the runner doesn't get a big lead. Infielders really pinch in on all sides to make sure that that bunt has to be a perfect one. And they're going to be aggressive. They won't be afraid to throw to second base, that's for sure.
Down to first. 3 balls and a strike.
Again, that throw is designed to make Jaramillo very uncomfortable. Now, he's only batting 100 against right-handed pitchers this year, so he hasn't been on first base very often anyway. So he's probably already uncomfortable, but let's make him more uncomfortable by trying to pick him off and keeping him close. But you do have to throw a strike if you're Adam Wainwright.
And there is the bunt. And the sacrifice going, 1-3. So Jason Jaramillo is down there at second for Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen singled in the first and lined out to Lopez at third in the third.
It's a tough league when you throw a 3-1 curveball to a pitcher in a bunting situation. It's a tough league, Jay.
It's the best. Doesn't get any better than this. Curveball in for a strike, a beauty.
It's always important to remember we've been harping in the last few weeks or so about Felipe Lopez, the Cardinal third baseman. We'd say, well, he doesn't have a lot of range. Well, compared to all the best third basemen on the planet, he doesn't have a lot of range, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have more than the average guy. So, we're talking about elite players at every position on this field right here. And Lopez actually turned in a very good defensive game 3 or 4 games ago where he made some outstanding plays. But, we always compare him to the best of the best, and we just have to remember that perspective.
On the ground, look out. Ryan can't make the play. Wonder if the runner influenced him a little here. I think it just took a bad hop on him and he couldn't handle it.
He actually grabs the wrong hop. He kind of gets in between hops and he gets back on his heels a bit. Instead, he wasn't sure whether he should charge that ball and get a short hop or wait back and take the longer hop. And he knew with the runner McCutchen, he was better off coming to get the short hop. But I think what he's thinking there, too, is I want to get the short hop to throw out McCutchen, but that's one you can whiff on. And if you whiff on it, it gets past you, it's a run. So I think he thought at the last minute, you know what, I better just make sure this ball stays in the infield and doesn't get past me.
Tabata at the dish. A strike right down central. He is singled, lined out, or excuse me, singled and grounded out. Runners at the corners with 2 out. We're in the top of the 5th in a 1-1 game. Inside.
And the pitcher's job right here is to make that error a non-issue. When you talk about this game tomorrow and somebody says, oh, Ryan made an error in the 4th inning, oh, I forgot that. As opposed to that's an error that opened the floodgates and runs scored afterwards, and that's how the Cardinals lost. And so it's a pitcher's job to minimize that mistake by the Cardinals shortstop, who's been playing much better defense of late.
A little inside, 2 balls and a strike. The Diamondbacks leading the Mets 9-1 in New York, 7th inning. Washington 4-2 over Philadelphia in Washington in the 7th inning.
About that Rockies game against the Cubs a couple of nights ago when the Rockies scored 12 runs in the 8th inning. Ian Stewart was 1 batter away from hitting for the 3rd time in the inning. 8 straight hits. Major league record. I mean, I'm sorry. Amazing. If you're a Cardinal fan, there's a little bit of that's funny, Jay.
Yeah, amazing.
Because it was against the beloved Cubs.
I think 11 of those runs were scored after 2 were out.
Cashner, the rookie reliever, who's such a young phenom, was a part of that inning. Sean Marshall as well, left-hander, is having a good season. So nothing going well for the Cubs.
That's fouled into the seats. Look out. Tampa Bay leading the Yankees in St. Petersburg, Florida in the 6th inning, 3-0. Cleveland over Toronto 5-4 at Toronto in the 8th. Boston 3-0 over Detroit, 7th inning at Boston. A 1-1 game here. 2 on and 2 out, 2-2 the count. Ooh, he almost hit it. Full count. Kansas City leads Baltimore 4-2. They're in the 4th inning over in Kansas City. White Sox 4-1 over Oakland, 6th inning at Chicago. Fouled away. McCutchen was going, of course, on the pitch. Westbrook, who pitches tomorrow night, the new Cardinal, will be making his 22nd start of the season against Brett Myers as Houston comes to town. Here's the payoff pitch. Another foul.
Wainwright's hanging that curveball a bit on the inside part of the plate. He's done that a couple of times this inning. He's going to have to make that adjustment. He doesn't give up any home runs. But if you hang the ball on the inside part of the plate to a right-handed hitter, you're asking for trouble.
Out it goes. Ryan comes up with this one. Throws on. He was able to minimize the problem, and still 1-1 after 4.5 innings. Hardee's. Try Hardee's new hand-breaded chicken tenders, freshly prepared on the premises. By Dave Munganess, Lexus of St. Louis, and Plaza Lexus, who invite you to test drive a Lexus today. And by Fairmount Park. Party at the park every Friday night at Fairmount Park. Colby Rasmus leads it off. He'll be followed by Brendan Ryan, Adam Wainwright. It's a 1-1 game as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-5-0 for Pittsburgh. 1-1-1 for the Cardinals.
such a refreshing day at the ballpark today, Jay. It does not feel like we are beginning the dog days of August. You know, that's a term that's been around baseball for a long time. August can become kind of a, you know, short fuse month. You see more fights on the field. You see more players arguing with umpires. You see more guys pressing because the season is worn on. This is game number 105 for the Cardinals. And, you know, you get a lot of frustration in this game. It's a game of managing frustration. And
it helps when the humidity's down.
And the nice temperatures, I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Also, it's nice that you've won a couple of games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're the Pirates, how do they feel?
Well, it's they already hold the record for the most consecutive losing seasons. I guess this will be number 18. Here's a team that last year, at the end of June, the Pirates were 36-41. Not bad.
Right.
And then they won only 27 and lost 58 from there. Shot that gets through. And Colby's going to go for second. And he is there. And the fans come to their feet applauding the hustle of Colby Rasmus.
Well, that's great hustle by Colby Rasmussen. You've got to identify that right out of the box for it to work. You see the second baseman slow the ball down, and maybe that's an opportunity to get more. Colby rolls it over, thinking about two right away, takes the wide turn, and he's off to the races. And he is so fast from first to second.
And let's go to Frank Cusimano as thought, I think, about Colby.
Well, you know, Jay and Rick, sometimes they say that competition brings out the best in players. Maybe with Colby Rasmus, it's going to be the other way around. You know, yesterday, Ryan Ludwig's traded, so he kind of knows that he's going to be the guy in center. He won't be platooning with John Jay because Jay will play right. Today, this inning, he leads off with a double. Maybe Colby Rasmus didn't like the competition, and maybe now that he knows he's going to be the guy, he's going to be a little bit more relaxed. Jay and Rick?
Frank, I'm inclined to agree with you. I think it's a good point. Here's Ryan, who doubled and scored in the third. Brendan's average is up to 212.
The only problem with Colby Rasmus not liking competition is this is the big leagues.
That's right.
You've got to thrive on the pressure of it. But I think he's got to find a way mentally to not feel the pressure even though it's there. And I think that comes with maturity. And, you know, Tony La Russa is a guy that likes competition. He likes pressure. And, you know, as long as Colby plays, in fact, Tony La Russa said that in the post-game comments. He said, now that Ludwig's gone, this will open up the door for Rasmus. And his comments were, well, yeah, there's innings that he might be able to earn. I mean, he's not just saying the job's yours.
Oh, no.
What if Alan Craig comes up and hits 300 and John Jay continues to play? Now, certainly Rasmus is a highly touted player and deserves to be out there, but you've got to find a way to relax at this level in the middle of all this great pressure that these guys have on.
There's the bunt, and it's a beauty. Duke got over there, but by the time he thought about picking it up and throwing, Ryan had himself a single. Frank, let's bring you back into that conversation.
Well, and I think the same can almost apply to Brendan Ryan right now, who's playing his best baseball. Tyler Greene, of course, is on the disabled list, and he knows he's going to be out there at shortstop every day. Now, some of it with Ryan may have been mechanics, but he also knows now that Tony La Russa doesn't have that many options at short, and he's going to get that chance. I remember interviewing Whitey Herzog about 3 weeks ago, and he said, what I would do with Brendan Ryan is I'd play him every day for 2 weeks straight and see what happens.
Well, he's getting to play, and as I mentioned earlier, both Brendan and certainly Yachty and also Schumacher have been battling out of these slumps, and hopefully it's a good sign. And when it comes to Rasmus, I think Colby, you know, after he sees Ludwig say goodbye, realizes that this is his time, maybe. Let's see. Wainwright grounded out back in the third.
And the Cardinals have an option here of having Wainwright sacrifice Brendan Ryan to second base. Wainwright has enough power to get the sacrifice fly, so Tony has given him the chance, at least on the first swing, to drive the ball. We'll see if he's sacrificing here. I'm betting he is.
Swinging away, comes up empty, 0-2.
That's why I don't bet.
Now, Jose Oquendo comes down from the third base coaching box to say something to Wainwright. Could he have missed a sign there?
It's possible. Adam's a pretty sharp guy. Jose maybe just wanted to make sure he knows what's on right here.
And this is what's on. A single to give the Cardinals the lead. And going on to third is Ryan. Very aggressive base running here. 2-1 St. Louis. Wainwright's 5th RBI of the season.
Brendan Ryan scraped his hand sliding into third. I guess Oquendo was giving him the get a base hit over the shortstop hit sign, because that's what Wainwright does. That's just his 5th RBI of the season. And Brendan Ryan with the hustle. And let's see how he scrapes that hand. Sliding into the third base bag a little awkwardly. He reaches for the bag. He's almost out.
Greg Hawk, the assistant trainer, out attending to him.
We just put a shortstop on the disabled list a little while ago. And I don't think this is anything serious here.
Ryan down there at third. Wainwright over at first. Still nobody out, and Aaron Miles, who sacrificed successfully and got the first RBI for the Redbirds. Fly ball to center field, stands in. Miles has been able to come up with multi-hit games in 6 of his last 11 starts. Fouled into the seats in right.
Frank's point about Brendan Ryan, which again goes along with Colby Rasmus' thought about maybe the competition isn't there anymore. You know, we're going to see some competition on the pitching side too, with Kyle Loesch coming back.
Into center field. Another RBI for Miles. 3-1 St. Louis. You know, when you get together with some of the biggest voices in St. Louis, you can get some big opinions, good or bad, right or wrong. They tell it like it is. See that really what everybody's been talking about lately is called Watch I'm Just Saying, weeknights during News Channel 5 at 10. Felipe Lopez, who has flied to left and walked.
Maybe bunting here.
It's low.
I'm going to stop guessing.
No, it's all right. Go ahead. I mean,
well, it's
nobody's counting.
No, it's. I bet somebody is.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Hits are even now at 5 apiece.
Well, the Pirates are expecting a bunt because they had almost the wheel play on. The shortstop was starting to move towards third base to cover. The first baseman's in, the third baseman's in, so they're guessing like I am.
Well, you can look back to the first inning when Walker was trying to bunt and was out, and that had a big effect on the game early.
Third baseman's in, first baseman's in fairly shallow, and the shortstop was holding the runner and then headed towards third. Again, that's what you do when you're expecting a bunt.
1 ball and 1 strike. Fouled off trying to bunt it. A sun-filled afternoon in downtown St. Louis, and another huge crowd on hand. What a nice day. Chamber of Commerce afternoon here.
It is. We have 365 days just like that in St. Louis, right?
Oh, yeah. Little chopper charging it as the second baseman makes the tag and turns the double play. The double play goes 4-3 as Neil Walker did that just the way he planned.
Well, Aaron Miles has got to try to avoid the tag at all costs, and he thought he could get past the second baseman. If you don't think you can, you've got to kind of get in a run down there. You've got to make sure the double play doesn't happen, and Aaron Miles runs into the tag. Good play by the second baseman, Walker.
So it'll be up to John Jay, who is grounded out and flied out. Wainwright down there at third, and Jay would like to pick him up and add to this advantage. And out to the shortstop, and safe, and the run scores. Wainwright legging it out. Nice hustle by Wainwright.
John Jay finds a hole in the infield just past the third baseman. Digging hard down the line, close
play. That's Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, one of the highly respected pitching coaches in the game, out there talking things over. But Wainwright getting home with the 4th run, and Jay picking up his 13th RBI of the season. And here's Albert, who's grounded out and lined out this afternoon.
Notice that Albert has changed his intro song when he comes to the plate. He's gone back to something he used to use. Now, he's not a superstitious guy at all, but he went from Canton Jones back to Lecrae, Jay, and I thought that was information you should know.
Well, I'm grateful I had to have that. I mean, it kind of makes my day.
They happen to both be on my iPod, so I recognize it. We have similar tastes in music.
One ball and no strikes. And you see that left fielder out there. He looks a little bored, doesn't he?
That's the stance of a player on a team that's 36 and 67.
Two balls and no strikes to Albert. Apparently that one caught the outside corner.
Game of baseball can be very tough mentally, but when your team isn't very good, then it's really tough mentally. I mean, a whole nother level of trying to be prepared adequately for a game. You just have to will yourself to be ready.
Yeah, there are a number of fellows obviously on this team that have some talent. And I'm sure the thought pervades into their mind every once in a while. Boy, I wish I was someplace else. You know, I mean, it just has to.
Yeah, but back to Frank's point about no pressure. There's no pressure on these guys. I'm going to play center field every day because who else is going to play? And you see the results that produces.
Yeah.
Complacency is not a good place to be either.
Here's the 2-2. Full count. The Phillies have come back to tie up Washington 4-4. They're in the 7th inning at the nation's capital. Cincinnati leads 2-1. Atlanta batting in the top of the 9th at Cincinnati. Foul ball.
You said nobody's listening, nobody's counting, but Andy Bennis just texted me to stop guessing.
Well,
so somebody's counting.
Yeah, Andy's counting, of course.
Nice to have friends, Jay.
Yes, sir. And he's one of the best. Another payoff pitch for Albert. First to throw over. Shot to left center field, and it is gone! Number 25. RBIs, number 73 and 74. Six to 1 St. Louis. Holiday stands in. He's flied to right and fouled out.
And maybe Albert's just starting to find that home run stroke again. Now he's passed Jim Edmonds and Craig Nettles on the all-time home run list. You just had that feeling, didn't you? 3-2. Times have we seen that?
417 feet to left center. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Holiday. Popped out into center, and it's going to be the right fielder Millage who comes on to make the play. 5 runs on 6 hits. The 3-run homer by Albert. 6-1 St. Louis.
feeling, and many Cardinal fans are really distraught in some ways about Ludwig being traded to San Diego, but the best way to get over that, the best way to fix it, would be for Mr. Westbrook to get off to a good start in his first start as a Cardinal here tomorrow.
This is Neil Walker out trying to bunt in the first, fly to center in the third. The Cardinals, Cleveland, and San Diego making that 3-team trade yesterday. This is popped up, and let's see if there's a play. Lopez, yes. Are you a Facebook fanatic? Become a fan of News Channel 5 on Facebook. Simply look up KSDK or link to us by clicking on the Facebook icon on the KSDK.com homepage. Share your views on the latest news and stories on air or online. News Channel 5 is where the news comes first. Here's Garrett Jones, struck out in the first, grounded out in the fourth. Let's bring Frank Cusimano in again.
Jay and Rick, Jake Westbrook said something interesting about coming off of Tommy John surgery earlier today. He felt his velocity was absolutely where it once was, 90, 91. But he said the last thing to come back is pinpoint control when you're coming back from Tommy John surgery. And he says he feels like he's getting closer and closer to where he once was. And I know Rick has played with a lot of guys that have had Tommy John, and I'm wondering if that's the case too.
Yeah, I think that's true, Frank, and that's a great point, and it shows some self-awareness in terms of how he evaluates himself as a pitcher for him to say that. You know, it's one thing to feel okay, but, you know, you still got to throw the ball where you want to, and there's a feel to that I think takes a while to develop, and some of the guys that I saw over the years did take some time to get it back. Ken Daly is the most notable exception. Ken Daly came back.
Speaking of time, I was going to say he came back quicker than anybody in history. He had it early on, and he was back long before expected.
Dr. Job still doesn't understand how he was able to do that. Of course, he was our team doctor with the Dodgers, got to know Dr. Job, and he talked about Ken Daly like he was a medical miracle. He actually took off his cast months before he should have, and he came back throwing harder and with more control than he had previously.
Yes, he did. It was an amazing story. And Ken, who still lives here, and we see him in the community, he was with me the other night at a function here for some of the fans, and I call him the cowboy. He's a dandy.
And he was here at the ballpark last night as part of the 1985 celebration, which has been going on all weekend here. And, of course, celebrating Whitey's induction into the Hall of Fame, the retirement of his number out in left center field, and just thinking about 25 years ago and how special that time was.
What a wonderful family of alumni you guys have in this greater St. Louis area.
What was neat about yesterday's experience, Jay, is there were players lined up from home plate to first base, and only 2 of them came in from out of town. Everybody else lives here in St. Louis and still part of the community.
2-out single for Pedro Alvarez, who had struck out in the first and in the fourth. Well, here's Lasting's Millage, had the triple and scored on the single by Cedeno in the second. He popped out in the fourth.
Tell you what, if you put all the shoes in the pile for the Pittsburgh Pirates, you're not going to make a mistake of which one belong to Lasting's Millage. Those are some colorful shoes, aren't they?
His dad, Tony, spent a year in the Cardinals organization. Millage is 25, from Bradenton, Florida, which is the spring training home of the Pirates and has been for many, many, many years. And it is handled out there by Holiday, and that'll do it. After 5.5, 6-1, St. Louis. And name that Cardinal. Oh.
He was here at the ballpark last night.
John. What a pitcher.
I told him I was glad he was here as part of the 85 celebration. I was glad to have somebody at the ballpark who I threw harder than. And he took exception to that comment, by the way.
He is the quintessential crafty left-hander.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, he was actually a hard thrower when he was younger, but he was something else in 85, 86, and 87 with the Cardinals.
And it's a final in Cincinnati. The Reds have won again. They beat Atlanta 2-1. Justin Thomas is the new pitcher. He was just called up from Indianapolis this morning. Born in Toledo, Ohio, lives now in Dalton, Ohio. And grew up actually in Oregon, Ohio, wherever that is, but into center field, and very acrobatic catch made out there by Mr. McCutcheon. He found a way to get that one done, didn't he?
Well, he took a circuitous route to the ball, but I think it's because it was a knuckleball off the bat of Yadier Molina. Best knuckleball I've seen since R.A. Dickey in New York. Cardinals tried to hit that guy, couldn't do it.
Circuitous route.
Yeah.
You got your
multiple syllables today.
Got your own catharsis with you here today. My goodness. Here's Rasmus. He struck out, doubled, and scored. Colby's average at .273. There's a new broadcaster.
My better half.
Your lovely wife. What a great lady.
She knows the game. She's been around a few ball games in her life.
I hope to tell you.
She never really paid attention when I was pitching, though.
This pitcher, Thomas, went to Youngstown State and made an appearance in the College World Series. We're going to put your wife to work here.
Oh, boy.
Yep. We're not going to put her on the payroll, but we are going to put her to work. Into center field, and it drops. Second hit of the day for Colby.
Immediately following today's telecast, stay tuned for the Dave Sinclair Automotive Group Cardinals Game Day wrap-up. Enjoy all the Cardinal highlights from today's action and insight into the game. News Channel 5 is your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Very nice.
Done.
Very nice.
Incredible. I'm packing my things now.
Here's Brendan Ryan, and he is 2 for 2 this afternoon, and Brendan's up to 215.
Going in the right direction.
Foul off. Thomas was pitching well at Indianapolis. He went 3-0 with 4 saves and a 2.63 ERA in 30 relief appearances there. Ooh, almost hit him.
I think the best tonic for Brendan Ryan has been the Cardinals winning. I think if he is going to get back to feeling like he's just the everyday shortstop and everything's fine, don't feel the stress, the pressure of his batting average, I think it helps if the club's winning. You can kind of quietly get back into the flow.
I think it's a very good point because, you know, he takes everything, especially a loss, like it's my fault.
Yeah,
my fault.
And everybody's looking for a reason why the team lost. If you lose every day, they're going to say, well, what happened? You did that wrong, you did that wrong, you did that wrong. And after you have that conversation a bunch of times in a row, you start to doubt your ability a little bit.
3 balls and a strike.
Brendan Ryan went 0 for 4 here this afternoon, and the Cardinals won 10-1. No one would come up to him and say, Brendan, you know, why didn't you? I mean, you just would become part of the win, and it wouldn't become such a big deal. Winning covers a multitude of sins.
The runner goes, and he is hung up, and he is out. full count. Colby was 10 for 14 in the stolen base department before being cut down that time.
Yeah, this is a hit and run in Colby's mind, and did not get a very good jump, and Brenda didn't offer at the pitch, and he just hung out to dry. Not sure who missed that sign.
And look here. Ryan is 3 for 3.
So it's a hit and run, or is it? He goes, uh-oh, that was a strike. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I think he thought that was a ball, and that's why he didn't swing at that pitch. But, you know, if it's a hit and run, it's a hit and run.
Yep. You got to get after it, don't you?
You absolutely do.
Wainwright has grounded out. He has singled, picked up an RBI, and scored this afternoon. Balls and no strikes.
You have a number of Pirates that are having to take some time to introduce themselves to their teammates. This team has changed a lot in the last week or so.
Yeah, certainly changed a lot since we were up in Pittsburgh in the early part of the season. My goodness.
So to develop any kind of team chemistry, I mean, there is none. Winning again helps that, but you've got players that know that if the player's having a good year, we'll probably move him. Like Dotel was having a good year out of the bullpen. That means somebody wants him.
Up the middle. Another hit for Wainwright.
And sooner or later, Jay, the Pirates are going to have to get off of that merry-go-round that is the way they've done business in the last 17 years is when we have a good player, we'll get rid of them for a couple of prospects, and we'll wait till they're good players, and then we get rid of them for other prospects, and you never really make any ground.
It's sad when you think back to those wonderful days of Clemente and Willie Stargell and Chuck Tanner managing there, and Danny Murtaugh and those guys. They had some good teams, I'll tell you. They were tough. Aaron Miles. And here's a shot into left, and it'll be handled out there by Jose Tabata, and that'll do it. After 6 innings, the Redbirds lead 6-1.
perfect for baseball. Cardinals have been playing good ball of late. Pirates are in town. All kinds of good things happening here at Busch Stadium.
And you know, Rick, with the hot summer days, it's always nice to have a tasty way to beat the heat. And you might want to try those new ice-blended caramel and mocha frappes. They're now at McDonald's, and they are good. Ronnie Cedeno leading it off as we move to the 7th inning. Cedeno has singled, picked up the only RBI for Pittsburgh in the 2nd. And then he struck out in the 5th. Fouled away.
We talked early on about the Pirates may have gotten themselves in a hole by not taking advantage of those opportunities in innings 1 and 2, and that's exactly what's happened. Wainwright has just been very stingy since then.
They did strand 2 runners in the 5th, but he is, as he so often does, turned it up a notch as the time goes on. Two and two.
This should be Wainwright's last inning. This is pitch number 100.
Full count.
No action yet in the Cardinal bullpen, but I would guess he would not go past 7.
Fouled away. Adam Wainwright and Chris Carpenter are a combined 19 and 2 at Busch Stadium this season. As we mentioned early on, Wainwright is 10 and 0, the best home record in Major League Baseball.
Not sure you can get better than that, can you?
Nope.
Well, he's been consistent all year long. He's only had 4 starts where he's given up 4 or more runs, including his last outing. And the 1-2 punch of he and Chris Carpenter are as good as it gets. Will Jake Westbrook be a part of that mix and join Jaime Garcia as part of a rotation that certainly got better yesterday?
And this will cause a bit of an argument as Cedeno can't believe he was punched out. Strikeout number 5, Hardy's hot pitch of the afternoon.
Well, Hardy's hot pitch might have been a ball, but too close to take for Cedeno as Wainwright paints the outside corner or a little bit out. Cedeno doesn't like the call. It doesn't matter. It's still a Hardy's hot pitch.
Speaking of pitching, Kyle Loesch performing for Memphis last night. He threw 70 pitches, 54 of them were for strikes, Rick. He did give up 3 home runs in that game and a total of 4 hits, but 3 of those hits were homers.
Well, he got his work in. He threw strikes, and you know the key really will be how he feels the next couple of days. Going to get another start as a rehab start, and then the competition begins for the rest of the Cardinals staff. And Tony has talked about going from 13 to 12 pitchers, and it's going to be a tough decision eventually.
Jaramillo out to second, and Miles throws on, 2 away. And we remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Andy LaRoche stands in as the pinch hitter. Swing and a miss by LaRoche. 26 years old from Fort Scott, Kansas. Went to Rice University. Brother of Adam, of course. The LaRoche brothers, a pretty good combo in their day in the big leagues. 1 ball and 1 strike. LaRoche batting .228. Up the middle. And look at Ryan. Got him! And boy, the Pirates are going to argue about this one. Here comes John Russell. But nevertheless, he is out, and the Cardinals lead 6-1.
Baseball fans, make your next game day part of a great getaway in historic St. Charles, Missouri. Just a short drive west of Busch Stadium.
MLB.com at-bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. For more info, visit Cardinals.com today. The kids enjoying the day here at the ballpark. The new pitcher is Justin Thomas, as Verizon presents our call to the bullpen. Gallagher, excuse me. It's Gallagher and not Thomas. He was in there before. Sean Gallagher. Take a look at his numbers. His 23rd appearance. He's 1-0.
And just to punctuate a little bit the situation that the Pirates are in, we added up all of the saves in the Pirates bullpen on August 1st for all of their active players, and the total, Jay, is
1. That's all I could find.
Didn't even need a calculator, did we? I'm not sure if that's ever happened in Major League Baseball before. They have 1 save in their bullpen.
Dotel was traded away.
Of course, they've lost some pitchers, but you know, they're out there in the bullpen right now. They don't know who's going to pitch the 9th inning. Evan Meek made the All-Star team as a setup man, and he is the one that has the 1 save they have. So the assumption would be he would be their closer now, but the team has won a lot of games. They've gotten rid of their bullpen, the guys who've been successful, and just a team going in the wrong direction.
On a full count, Lopez grounds out, 4-3. Join News Channel 5 tomorrow night at 7. Mike Bush hosts a Making a Difference special. Stories that bring you hope and show you the strength of the human spirit. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. That's watch Making a Difference tomorrow night at 7 here on News Channel 5.
Making a difference, like our great friends in the truck who do such a great job with our telecasts, providing the sights and sounds of Cardinal baseball day after day. Talk about the dog days. They're in a truck for a lot of days in a row.
They're going to get 4 days off in the next 3 weeks.
Well, they need them. They need him.
2 balls and no strikes. 2-1.
But they're here a lot of hours. All the folks, cameramen.
Very dedicated people. We're so grateful to the folks behind the scenes that make our job a lot easier. John Jay is grounded out. He's flied to left. He's singled and scored. And he picked up an RBI in the 5th inning. Out to Walker. 2 away. And let's go down to Frank Cusimano. Has some interesting thoughts here.
Well, Jay, every time I see Albert before a Sunday game, I joke to him, I'll see you after the game as the star of the game in about 4 hours, and he smiles. But for some reason, Albert plays well on Channel 5. He's got 7 homers in 11 KSDK games. Number 5's very good on Channel 5. In fact, Albert's pretty good on Sundays in general. 72 of his 391 home runs, about a fifth, have come on Sunday afternoons. He likes to play on the Lord's Day.
Well, I'd have to say, too, Frank, he plays about every day that he plays. Our plate umpire, Andy Fletcher, took a shot on that last one. Greg Hawk out just to check him out. He says everything's all right. We'll go back and take a look at that home run.
Here's what number 5 does on Channel 5. Boom, boom, boom. Frank had some good numbers there, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Now you're showing me something, Frank, if you can come up with the total distance of all of those home runs he's hit on Channel 5.
Get your computer out, Frank.
I'll work on that right away.
Here is Albert.
You know there's some sabermetric guy probably has that.
Yeah. Albert, who grounded out in the 1st, and then he lined out in the 4th, and then homered in the 5th. And Frank, back to you.
I will say this. Albert has come out with a new tennis shoe that is now selling around Champs Sporting Goods nationwide. It's a extra light Albert 5 Nike shoe that you'll see a lot of kids wearing in the very near future, I'm sure.
All right. Deep in the hole of the shortstop, Cedeno, but he still has time. Albert not running well with that injury, that shot to the foot that he had early in this game. 7 innings, 6-1 St. Louis.
Box 1.
To you by Window World, a proud sponsor of Cardinals baseball, and by Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now is the perfect time to get yours during the Toyota National Clearance Event. Jason Mott is on to do the pitching for the Redbirds. Mott had a season high 2 innings of shutout baseball on the 22nd. Strike one to Andrew McCutchen, who has singled, lined out, reached on an error. There's some of the kids with their Build-A-Bears, Build-A-Bear Workshop people. Nice gift for the kiddos today. Couple of toe heads there. 0-2.
Got a lot of nice giveaways this weekend.
Yeah, they had the
bobblehead.
2 bobbleheads and the bear today. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. Mott strikes out the first batter that he faces.
And McCutchen doesn't quite gear up for this fastball. Got a little hop to it, a little bit late, right down the middle. But you throw it that hard, you can get away with it. One thing I've liked about Mott this year is his increase in command. He does not walk very many batters. For a guy that throws as hard as he does, he's come in throwing strikes. And you really need a guy in the bullpen to do that. You just can't afford to have a guy walk the first batter he faces. There's just too much tension on the line for the defense late in innings, and you just got to have a guy pumping in strikes.
This is out of play. Jose Tabata has singled, grounded out twice.
Speaking of control, no walks for Wainwright. 5 strikeouts. And he is now just 1 win behind Ubaldo Jimenez in the National League with his, well, if he does get the win today, I can't count it yet. You're not allowed to. But the Cardinals certainly going in that direction where he could get his 15th victory.
The crowd on hand for this one, 43,338. Let's see if there's a play here.
Watch out, Albert.
Ooh. Number 5 trying to make the play. Been banged around a little today, but he banged one out of here.
And that's one guy you want to help when he comes over towards the dugout. Everybody's up there. Oh, protect Albert. Please protect Albert. If John Mozeliak was down there, he would have given a hand, and Tony La Russa and Mr. DeWitt. I mean, you name it. All of Cardinal Nation would have lent a hand on that one. Got to keep him healthy.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Kansas City is leading 5-4 in the 7th inning over Baltimore at Kansas City. Minnesota has defeated Seattle 4-0 in Minnesota.
There's another team that's changed a lot. You mentioned Kansas City, Jay. Rick Ankiel going to the Atlanta Braves. We'll see him later in the month of August. A lot of moves last couple of days.
Yes, sir. And this just gets by Lopez into left. A 1-out single by Jose Tabata, his 2nd of the day. Sunday's game day here on News Channel 5. Next Sunday, August 8th, the Cardinals will be in South Florida to take on the Marlins. The Window World Cardinals game day preview comes your way at 11:30. Cardinals and the Marlins next Sunday on your home for Cardinal baseball, News Channel 5. Neil Walker out trying to bunt in the 1st, flied to center in the 3rd, and fouled out in the 6th, and that's going to be it for Mott. With a pitching change here in the 8th, we'll take this timeout. 48th appearance. ERA at 3.07. And he threw his 10th consecutive scoreless appearance last night. 17 of his last 18 have been scoreless.
16 walks in 29 innings, probably the only bad number on that full screen. And the ERA pretty respectable. He's had some patches where he hasn't been very good, but overall body of work, you'd say you're happy that you have both the left-handers out there in the bullpen. Both he and Trevor Miller have been not as good as last year, but they've been good.
And here is Neil Walker. Walker, as I mentioned early on in the telecast, from the Pittsburgh area. A real fan favorite in Pittsburgh, and he loves playing in his hometown.
Blake Hawksworth has gone back to the Cardinals bullpen, and he is now getting loose. A couple of left-handers in a row here, but he's getting loose for Lasting's Millage. And Marty Mason helping him out a bit now that he's returned back to the bullpen. I have a chance to have some mechanic time with Marty Mason, and that's really his strength. More so than Dave Duncan. Dave Duncan is a what pitch to throw, when, where kind of guy, and then setting the defense accordingly. Marty is more the mechanics of actually the delivery of the pitching motion, and he's got a great eye for that.
2 balls and a strike.
And Marty hates it when we talk about it.
Well, he's like so many of the individuals on the staff here, a person that really has a tremendous knowledge and loves doing what he does. And really, I stop and think about all the years I've been covering baseball. I don't know that I've ever covered a team that had a better coaching staff than this one. Well, here's a walk, and that is not what you would like to have from Mr. Reyes. It was 2 on and 1 out for Garrett Jones, who has 14 home runs. He struck out, grounded out, and flied to center. Arizona won 14-1 over the Mets today. Cleveland 5-4 over Toronto at Toronto. Swing and a miss, and that hurt. Oh boy, writhing in pain there.
Yadier Molina doing the work of the trainer right now. Brad Henderson,
nice guy, former Cardinal assistant trainer to Gene Gieselman here.
And Brad spent, I can't tell you how many hours trying to make my arm straight after my surgery with Dr. Joe. I went to him for probably an hour a day for months, and he would try to stretch my arm and pull my arm and make it go in ways that it wouldn't go anymore. And he actually tried to straighten it out again. We spent a lot of time during the off season working on me. I really appreciate Brad's diligence.
John Jay makes the play in right field. That'll leave it up to Alvarez, who struck out twice and singled.
It was interesting when Andre Dawson went into the Hall of Fame. He spent a lot of time thanking people who helped him medically, and you don't normally think about that. The medical staff of the Cardinals and the training staff, and how much work they put in getting players healthy so they can go out there and perform and earn their money and win the games. I mean, it's, yeah, Tony gets the credit for the win. The player, the pitcher might, but you know, the training staff is an integral part of what happens on every club. And Brad Henderson does a great job, certainly with the Pirates, and miss seeing him.
I mentioned Gene Gieselman, longtime Cardinal trainer. I noticed he was here last night.
He was.
Celebration, retiring Whitey's number.
Well, we've got this alumni group, and Gino's in that.
Oh,
he is as much a part of us as the players who are on the field. Dr. London.
Dr. Stan London. Now, there's a man who is dedicated to his craft.
You bet.
Boy. And also, in his day, Maybe the best handball player in Forest Park.
I have heard that.
He was something. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. White Sox defeated Oakland 4-1 in Chicago.
Can't afford another walk.
No,
in the 8th inning. Need a strike here.
Full count. Redbirds coming up with a big 5-run inning in the 5th, highlighted by Albert's 3-run homer, leading 6-1. This jammed him and he fouled it back.
Clellan and Franklin now getting loose in the Cardinal bullpen.
Reyes gets a new baseball. Tabata at second, Walker at first. 2 on and 2 out, and 3 and 2. Got him. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals lead 6-1. You want people to remember your name, remember ours. www.adcreations.com. The 4th pitcher of the afternoon for the Pirates, Steven Jackson. Jackson has been scored upon in his first 2 games since being recalled on Tuesday. He allowed 2 runs last night. Holiday, Molina, and Rasmus do here in the bottom of the 8th. 6-10-1 St. Louis, 1-7-0 for Pittsburgh. Deep to center field. There it goes. Number 20. RBI number 63.
When you hit a home run to center field and the center fielder doesn't move to go get it, you've crushed it.
Seven to 1. Time called as they wait for the kids to get off the grass out there that were getting that baseball. Molina has flied to center, grounded out and flied to center again. 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Molina singles up the middle.
So much power generated by Matt Holliday. His arms are extended, and then he's able to finish his swing and generate so much power. Head right on the ball. He's a strong man, too, and that ball was hit a ton. McCutchen maybe took 2 or 3 steps back after the ball flew over his head, but he knew he had no chance.
420 feet to the grass in dead center. Rasmus. Ball 1 to Colby. Struck out in the second. Doubled and scored in the 5th. And singled and was out on a botched play. Either a stolen base play or a hit and run. Not sure which. But and this is hit into left. Tabata is on the run and he gets there.
I have this memory of, I believe it was Jimmy Wynn playing center field, and this goes back to my childhood. So, you know, your childhood memory is not quite as good as last week, you know, when you get older, Jay. And I remember Jimmy Wynn being in center field, and I think it was Dave Kingman hit a home run to center field, and he never moved. He just had his hands on his knees, and he never moved. You know, as a pitcher, you kind of want a guy to pretend that he thinks he can catch the ball.
Brendan Ryan has scored twice. He is 3 for 3. And that average up to 218.
Now, not quite a Jimmy Wynn right here, but the center fielder, here's the fly ball over his head. He's going to take a couple of steps, and then he kind of, no, I can't really, never mind. I'll just go back here and make the pitcher feel good. But I can't catch that ball, not up there on the grassy knoll.
1 ball and 1 strike. The Pirates will have Millage, Cedeno, and Jaramillo in the ninth.
How about 4 for 4 afternoon for Brendan Ryan?
Wouldn't that be nice?
That might even earn him a conversation potentially with Frank Cusimano after the game.
Sure, Frank would ponder that. 2 balls and a strike. Three and 1. Houston has beaten Milwaukee 5-2 down in Houston. That's a final.
Houston's pushing to catch both Milwaukee and Chicago. They've played very good baseball the past couple of days, Houston has, and the Cardinals will see them here at the end of this homestand. You wouldn't think Houston would have enough players left and enough energy to be able to overtake Milwaukee, who should be a better club, and the Cubs should be better, but
well, certainly, with the loss of Berkman,
yeah,
that'll be tough to take for them.
Berkman and Oswalt,
yeah,
but they've been taking it to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. The walk. Stavanoa is going to come to the plate.
If if Chicago loses their game in Colorado, the Astros will only be a half a game behind the Cubs. And they're only 2 games behind Milwaukee. Milwaukee now 10 games under 500 with all those hitters in that lineup.
Nick Stavinoa activated from the 15-day DL yesterday. Missed 15 games with that right shoulder strain. Here's another guy who will be competing for playing time now. Ludwig gone.
Well, and one name we haven't talked much about here this afternoon is David Freese, who had an extended workout before the game this afternoon, and he was running from first to third and doing a lot of stops and starts, and the trainers and coaches were watching him to make sure he was doing things effortlessly, and he told them afterwards he's ready to go, and they're going to send him on a rehab assignment. And how good would that be to have David Freese back playing like he was playing the first couple months of this season?
And Loesch will get another rehab start later this coming week. 1 ball and 1 strike to Stavinoa. That's low, 2-1. Here's Kyle. Pitched last night. Liking that gum he's got there, a little bubble.
He's just anxious to be back pitching again.
Well, the great thing that he tells you, and it's wonderful, he says he just had no discomfort with that forearm at all. It's been great. Hopefully he will return to form. This has popped up, and there's no play. Again, remind everybody, tomorrow Houston comes in for the first of 3. An off day on Thursday, then 3 in Florida, 3 in Cincinnati. Day off on the 12th, 3 with the Cubs, a day off on the 16th. 2-game series with Milwaukee and a day off on the 19th. And then the Giants are here for 3 games. So 4 days off in the next 3 weeks. And that's one of the that is the main reason, of course, that manager La Russa will go to a 12-man pitching staff.
And you wonder if he might rethink that a bit. And I know he made that choice, but after the team getting the news that Tyler Greene needed to go on the disabled list, he's a guy that gives a lot of versatility off the bench.
Well, he might, yeah.
And so if you've got some guys that can't play multiple positions like Tyler Greene, maybe you need extra players. Maybe you do that sooner than later. You may need 2 extra players before next week.
The 2-2 pitch into left, and the bases will be loaded. This pitch looked to be right over the heart of the plate.
Let's check out the location of this fastball. You want to stay out of the middle of the plate? Where is it? I'm going to call that the middle of the plate.
And here's an opportunity for Aaron Miles, who has 2 RBIs today. One with a sacrifice fly in the 3rd, another with a single in the 5th. Then he flied to left in the 6th inning.
15 hits yesterday. Cardinals have 13 hits, and there's just 1 out here in the 8th inning today.
And here we go again. 1 run will score. The bases will remain loaded. And that's a 3 RBI day for Miles.
Maybe Aaron Miles gets to talk to Frank Cusimano when the game is over. Everybody wants to talk to Frank.
And here comes Joe Kerrigan.
Classic Aaron Miles hit there, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Put the bat on the ball and always had a good stroke.
Felipe Lopez will bat with the bases loaded and 1 gone. He flied to left in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, grounded into a double play in the 5th, then grounded out in the 7th. Here are our runners. Ryan, Stabenoa, and Miles.
Every once in a while during the course of a season, you want to think back at January and think about what you expected out of the Cardinal team in 2010. If I had told you that on August 1st you'd have Brendan Ryan leading off third, Stabenoa second, Aaron Miles at first, Felipe Lopez at the plate, and Randy Wynn on deck, you'd say, what? How did that happen?
Off-speed pitch got him.
A lot of changes during the course of a season. And what you try to do is manage those changes to help make the team better.
And it will be Randy Wynn to bat for John Jay. Jay, who had a single and an RBI and scored in the fifth. Wynn batting .263. Has 9 RBIs and 2 home runs. Played a good outfield when he's been called on. Strike one. Zach Duke started, went 5 innings, gave up 6 runs on 7 hits, struck out 1 and walked 1, and he's been followed by Thomas, Gallagher, and Jackson. A little low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Gets away, but not far enough for any advance.
Not a very strong target given by the catcher Jaramillo, and it's right in the center of the plate. And I always felt it was important for a catcher to give a big target. This is where I want you to throw the ball. I don't want to see half the glove. I want to see the whole glove, and you want to see it on a corner typically.
The Pirates have acquired a new catcher who will join the team tomorrow. He's Chris Snyder from Arizona, and he'll be their new starting catcher. He's batting .231 with 10 homers at Arizona. He'll be in uniform tomorrow.
Let's see how good this target is. You're still just seeing the back of the glove. Now it's a little late to be putting that target up.
And the walk. And another run comes home as Ryan trots down and touches home plate.
Jason LaRue will bat for Albert Pujols.
And he is the 9th man to bat.
I'm sure a lot of Cardinal fans here at the ballpark would like to see one more at bat from Albert with the bases loaded here this afternoon. But he did foul the ball off the top of his left foot, and he's been hobbling a bit during the afternoon. So I think this is a smart move. We'll see Yachty move to first base, and LaRue will take over behind the plate.
One ball and 1 strike. That's high, 2-1. Three and 1. Steven Jackson has had a rough 8th inning here. Down to third. a force at second base, and that'll do it. But the Birds put 3 more on the board, and going to the top of the 9th, they lead 9-1.
The just right taste of
Baseball on News Channel 5 is brought to you by Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. And by Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center, a proud sponsor of Cardinals baseball. And what a day it's been here at the park. Boggs doing the pitching now. Molina's at first, LaRue catching. Schumacher is in left field. And Wynn in right.
And I always like to see Mitchell Boggs get the 9th inning of a game. I still have this strong feeling that someday he'll be a 9th inning guy somewhere in the big leagues. I think he's got that kind of live arm and has the capability of continuing to develop into being a nasty reliever. And he's very close. He's almost there. You see great signs, and then he takes a step backwards, but that's going to happen with a young pitcher. But he sure does have a fastball that you like to have in your bullpen. Wow, he's got life to it. 96.
And he faces Lasting Millage, who tripled and scored in the 2nd, popped out in the 4th, flied out to left in the 6th.
Pretty good numbers. ERA 3.3, 46 innings out of the Cardinal bullpen.
Boggs has allowed runs in 12 of 42 appearances, but in just 5 of his last 22. Up the middle, leadoff single. Well, gives us a chance to revisit Rick's keys to the game at this point in the proceedings.
Well, one of the keys to this game was for the Cardinals to rebound with Adam Wainwright after a bad start. He was always been good on the next time out, and that's what he was today, looking to go 4-0 in games following a bad start. Go the other way. The Cardinals really sprayed the ball all over the place. They got a lot of hits, some the other way, some they pulled. Albert and Holiday show what kind of day have they had? Well, they both have gone deep, and the power of those two guys are going to be very important from the right side without Ryan Ludwig.
Ronnie Cedeno singled in the 2nd inning and picked up an RBI and is struck out in the 5th and the 7th.
There's a good breaking ball for Mitchell Boggs, and that has been the pitch where he gets in trouble. He will hang his breaking ball. He's got kind of the low 3/4 arm slot. And if he gets underneath it, it just hangs and sits there like that one did.
Yep. So a couple of singles start this ninth inning.
I'm not sure the actual percentage of hits that Boggs has given up on off-speed pitches, but I know it's higher. That one just sits right in the middle of the plate. Not a good slider from Boggs. He has the capacity and the capability of throwing a nasty slider. We just don't see it often enough.
Jaramillo has grounded into a double play, singled, and grounded out. 2 on and nobody out here. Birds leading 9-1 into center field. Colby Rasmus makes the play. Jeff Clement will be the pinch hitter. A 195 average. Clement, 26 years old, from Marshalltown, Iowa. Took that team to the '96 Little League World Series. Played at Southern Cal. Clement had some knee injury problems that have hampered his career. One ball and one strike. Three and one. Foul back. He had a good cut. Full count. Clement has 6 home runs and 10 RBIs on the year. Driven into left field, and the bases will be loaded.
Pirates sure have spaced out their hits in this game. They've got 10 hits. You say that's a pretty good day offensively, but just 1 run so far. And of course, they've got a chance to add on here with their best hitter at the plate. The bases loaded in the 9th inning, but Cardinals have done a good job of capitalizing when they've had opportunities. They put up a 5 spot in the 5th inning, 3 in the 8th. A lot of clutch hitting on the Redbird side.
And the bullpen gets busy again as pitching coach Mr. Duncan is going to come out, and LaRue, and they're going to visit here a little bit.
Kyle McClellan has to throw another time. He thought maybe his day was through with Mitchell Boggs getting the 9th inning, but he's getting loose in a hurry again. Dave Duncan trying to calm down his pitcher. And you know what you're always doing here, Jay, as your Dave Duncan, is you think forward. You don't want to talk about it. Dave will say that. You don't want to talk about what happened bad in the past. What do I need to get back on track, and how can he get his focus on the next hitter and off of what just happened, which was bad news? A couple of base hits, 3 base hits, and just make sure he understood what he was trying to do with Andrew McCutchen.
McCutchen's had a ball with the bases loaded, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Swing and a miss. McCutchen singled in the 1st, lined out in the 3rd, reached on an error in the 5th, and struck out against Mott in the 8th inning.
You throw a fastball with 98 miles an hour in movement, You should get everybody out.
On the ground it goes. Can they turn to the speedy McCutcheon? Is out at first, and that will end it. Good job on the double play. McCutcheon can really run. The Cardinals have swept the Pirates. The final 9-1, and the Cardinals go 13 over 500 for the first time since July 21st. We'll be back in just a few moments.